Hey everyone, it's Michael Kikle. I hope you're doing well today, and I have a review here for a DC Black Label book. I think the only one I've ever read outside of this was Batman Damned, which was good from what I remember. Is that Lee Bermejo, I think? Anyway, this is Batman the Imposter, written by Mattson Tomlin, and the art is done by Andrea Sorrentino. Now, I had never heard of this book. I was at an Ollie's and I found it for like $4, and it looked cool. It's a miniseries, it's 3 issues long. And I went ahead and grabbed it up because it looked like my kind of thing. And I've seen like what this concept for this book is in little things here and there in Batman stuff I've read. For example, Dark Knight's Metal has a little bit of this, but not really. It's more fantastical. And then like Dark Knight, obviously on the more goofy side at the beginning of the movie. But Mattson Tomlin, apparently, this is the real thing you need to know. Apparently, he did a little bit of ghostwriting on the Batman Matt Reeves movie, the Robert Pattinson film. And apparently, he's like an official writer on this new movie, part 2, that may or may not ever exist. I'm still convinced it's never coming, but still, apparently he's involved with that. And this book kind of solidifies why I think that might be a good choice. So I really enjoyed this. I have my nitpicks, I have my complaints, but I would say the most of it I really love. This is an excellent Batman standalone story. This is Batman, like, I think he'd been Batman for like 3 years at this point. Essentially, there is an imposter Batman who is killing people and ruining the reputation of Batman himself that he's taken these 3 years to really build up. The police now are going after Batman. And at one point, Bruce Wayne's identity is leaked to, not by anybody else, just by a situation that happens because he, I think, came through a window or something. The psychiatrist character from his past that he knew growing up, Leslie, is it Leslie Tompkins? Is that her name? I think it is. I may get that wrong. But anyway, she's in here and she's like having an interview each morning with him before dawn of what's going on, telling the story about what's he doing? Why is he investigating? Is there an imposter? And Leslie is really our eyes into the story. Sometimes that's clever. Sometimes I think it's a wasted thing that shouldn't even bother being in here. I don't really like Leslie that much as a character anyway, whether it be here or in any other book. She's kind of like, I don't know. I just don't like her that much. But she is like the eyes of the story for our perspective. But her interviews with Bruce are super fascinating. I really like this Bruce Wayne. By the way, they kind of draw him in a way sometimes here, where I swear he's supposed to be Asian. I don't know, it's kind of bizarre sometimes, because sometimes he looks like it, sometimes he doesn't. It's a little fun. The Batman costume, you never really get a lot of good shots of like the full costume and panel, because the art's kind of scatterbrained, like in the sense of like, imagine the Grant Morrison book, Batman Arkham Asylum. Is it Serious House on Serious Earth or whatever? If you remember that, or remember how wild and wacky that art was, that's how this art is for this story. If somebody's in a fight with Batman and they get their leg broken, there's like a little box that'll appear, almost in infrared, of the inside of their leg snapping. Like, it does that if Batman's being shot at by the cops, it'll like do those little blocks around the holes in his cape. You know, that's a little, when I say scatterbrained, I mean like sometimes there's a little bit much on the page, but for the psyche of Batman here, who's diagnosed with all this shit in here by Leslie, because they cover like his present day stuff with the investigation of the imposter Batman's trying to hunt down, but they also cover his past, like when he lost his parents and stuff too, and not in the typical way, and I really like that as well. This covers a lot in 3 issues. To be fair, they're like 35 pages, 30 pages, somewhere in there. But the book flies by. It's very, very thorough on what it's trying to do in the small time it has. They even set up a romance in here at one point, which I don't want to get into that too much. Now, there is a character in here named, I think her name is like Agent Wong or something. I don't think I know this character, but she's a female cop, an Asian female cop, who's actually investigating the imposter thing, but she at first doesn't know it's an imposter. She and the other cops think it's just Batman snapping and going crazy and killing people now. So we're really in kind of using her as eyes on to the other angle of what the police think of Batman now and investigating Batman in that respect. So we have Batman himself here, Bruce. We have Leslie, and then we have Miss Wong's character perspective here in all these different angles of profession, and that's really interesting. You have, the person himself, Bruce, who thinks he's normal. You have Leslie as a psychiatrist of all things, getting into the mental part of it. And then you have kind of the crime addressing, if you will, from the cop angle with Wong. And I really like that about this book. Bruce is so smart here. I love how Mattson Tomlin wrote him. He might have to use people around him to get to what his goals are, to stop this imposter, or at least find out where the imposter is. The imposter stuff is not in the forefront enough. Like, a lot of the time it's blurry camera footage that we're supposed to be seeing in the pictures about this Batman killing people. But the investigation and the mystery leading up to that is so fun. It's kind of like when you saw Return of the Joker for the first time, and that, well, how could the Joker be back at all? That feeling of that, but obviously a lot more gritty. This is a very, very Dark Knight-esque, Nolan-esque, in this case more of a Matt Reeves-esque, gritty Batman story, and I love that about it. I've read like 3 or 4 Batman trades recently that I reviewed, from the ongoing, from like the end of Rebirth and the beginning of All In, and they've all been rough. This is better than all of them. This is exactly why I kind of want to stick with like the individual graphic novels, because of how thorough and well done this was. You have a writer on here who knows what he's doing and knows how to tell a story coherently, but at the same time not. And the art is able to compensate for all of that too, and be just like it. I love that. These two as a creative team did amazing here. The coloring is kind of on that almost grayscale, almost a black and white movie thing. There's a lot of nice splashes of red in here. This Batman is very brutal, just like, the Ben Affleck Batman and the Dark Knight Batman and the Matt Reeves Pattinson Batman. So if you love all that, you'll love this. If you've never read a Batman comic in your entire life, this is a fantastic place to start. I don't think Killing Joke is that much. I don't think Joker with Brian Azzarello's writing on there, I don't really think that's a great place, because Batman's barely in either of those books, to be honest with you. This is a great place to start if you're brand new. It's a really good one. You can get it fairly cheap now. I want to check out more Black Label stuff, because this was really, really good, man. For what it is, I'm not trying to oversell it, but if you understand in like 90 pages what all this book does, and makes a satisfying mystery that's completely resolved by the end with no tie-ins to anything else as far as I know, this is really awesome, and I really recommend it. It's one of those surprises, kind of like Batman Earth 1 when I got into that. Earth 1 blew me away, and I just read that like last year, I think. I haven't reviewed it for the channel, but still, I need to reread that because of how good all 3 of those books were. I wish we had more of that, to be honest. It feels like this is an experimentation just like that was, to try something new. Now you have Batman, the Absolute Batman, and Absolute DC stuff that feels like it's doing the same thing. I almost prefer this approach because of how much you can do with it, you don't have to worry about canonicity. You don't have to worry about all these throwbacks to Silver Age and Golden Age stuff. Even though there is some nice references in here, like Ratcatcher, for example. But anyway, I really enjoyed this. If you haven't read Batman the Imposter, you should totally take out the time to read it. It's a really good one. Just know, though, if it's like for like a grandkid or something, this is not for kids. It's not, because it's got a little bit of foul language in there, but it's also like not like heavy with nudity or anything like that. I don't mean it like that, but it is brutal. It is a little bloody. It's not meant for kids with how dark and serious the storytelling is, but if your grandkid, or your nephew or whatever, is an edgelord like I used to be, this is a great example of something they'll probably love, because it's really well done. And it's very emotional sometimes, too. Very emo, like the Pattinson Batman. So anyway, if you're a fan of any of those things I mentioned, totally check this out. I think it'll be right up your alley. I think you'll have a great time. And let me know down below what you guys think about Batman the Imposter if you read it. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know everything you think. Is this the best Batman graphic novel you've ever read? It's pretty up there for me, man. I've read a lot, but I really love this. I think I like Earth 1's books better, but this is up there, for real. So anyway, thank you all. God bless you again. Catch you later, and goodbye.